Welcome to LiveCanvas 4.2. In this new release, you will find a new text editing toolbar. I'm going to demonstrate how this works using LC Gourmet, which is actually our new ready-made theme. It's a child theme for Bootstrap that has also some starter content. And so let's have a look at what you can do. So that's the page. We're gonna launch the editor and have a small walk inside this new text editing toolbar. So actually, you may be already familiar with the old toolbar. So this part on the upper side is pretty similar. You have the ability to change the HTML tag, which is there. And on the second part, you have these two lines, which actually get into just one line on very large screens, but will be used, typically look like this. And so here you have, in this second part, you have some tools to set colors, text opacity, text alignment, control uppercase and lowercase, choose different line height, letter spacing, weight, and very important, you have all those tools on the second row to deal with font sizing in a responsive way. So let's start one by one and to discover these. But first of all, one word about the philosophy that's behind. When you click here on one of these options, be it a color or any kind of element, you see that it gets with this blue dot or it changes color. What's happening on the document, let's view the HTML code, is just that a class is applied. So actually you see here RFS 30 LS92. What this means is that, as you can see, the RFS 30 class was applied and LS was the letter spacing class. So the nice thing of this interface is that it interacts with your document only switching classes. So let's go on this row where the text is and apply, for example, this uppercase utility class. And if you have a look at the code, it will be very evident. You have a paragraph with class lead and text uppercase. So here you would just have a look at the blue parts and know that it's a lead with the uppercase. Well, you need to hover to know the names here, but it's pretty easy and intuitive. So let's discover one by one all the options and see their details. But I'm gonna just click undo a couple times because now it looks awful. I was just playing around a little bit. And so let's back here from the beginning. So the first element, as you can see, has a color choice, and all this is showing all the Bootstrap variables, all the colors that are exposed by Bootstrap variables. And you have, of course, the Bootstrap colors. For example, now I'm gonna switch this to secondary. And I want to show you guys how you can easily stay in control of these colors. We'll just save and exit the editor and launch the WordPress customizer, which actually is the place where you wanna go in order to customize all those classes. So, and not only about colors, also about the rest. Every time you see this B here with the Bootstrap logo, it means that you have some options to customize the corresponding Bootstrap classes. So let's click on colors. And so let's try to assign the secondary color to a blue. As you can see, the CSS is being compiled in real time, and you can see that the secondary color has switched. Let's change the primary color as well. Let's choose a bright yellow. And so you'll see also all the buttons changing. We don't have many buttons here, but we have another one. Okay, so these changes are applied on a global scale. Now I'm not going to hit publish, but if you did, the whole website would have these. So let's close without saving, and let's launch the editor again, and let's go to the next element. So, well, before closing our colors talk, we need to have a look at this more button here. Well, what this more button is doing is just launching the properties panel, the properties editor on that element. So actually you can use all the typical Bootstrap classes and not only those that are specific to text. So by the way, you do have also color shades in here, which are pretty nice. You can have all the color shades. Okay, I'm gonna just play with this. But you do have also all the other options. So if you want to change and have like a margin top, or maybe you want that margin only on large devices, and you can absolutely have it. So this big space will be only on large devices, but it will not affect at all, as you can see on the mobile view. I can change this and it's not doing anything. So this gives you a lot of power, of course, and all the usual rules apply. The undo key is your friend if you mess up things. And you can also, of course, manually review the applied classes just scrolling down here on this panel. So if I delete all those classes, it will, this text will look exactly like a plain H1. So let's go back to this text and let's assign a color again and see. After you assign any color, you can also use the text opacity classes, which are pretty nice. Let's see the code again. So text danger, text opacity 25, super clear. And let's go to alignment. Alignment is really interesting because here you can align responsively. I mean, for example, I just click on this small icon to reveal the responsive classes. If I click, for example, on text X all center, it will center the text only on larger screens. So on mobile, well, now we can see because it's too large, but on small screens, it will look aligned on the left. But when you switch to large devices, it will be centered. So this way you can control what happens on each viewport. Okay, let's go on to the utilities. Here you have text uppercase, you have capitalize to have the first char uppercase only, you have monospace, strike through, you have text break, and you have text truncate, which are kind of like more special things. But please remember that each time you have a doubt, you can click on this question mark icon and it will open the corresponding page to explain you how this works. We are only working with Bootstrap. It's just very standard, very plain. So unless specified, it's really vanilla Bootstrap. So let's go to line height. But first of all, I'm gonna go on this other text area and hit Command L, which actually just prints some lorem ipsum text inside your text field. So now I can show you what this text truncate utility is doing. So if I click here, as you can see, only the first row of text is shown and it's truncated by CSS. Let's disable it. And here, let's test the line height. As you can see, there's nothing really special into it. And if you click here on line height, you will have the Bootstrap manual handy for you. Let's go further. Let's go to the letter spacing. Letter spacing is something that we actually added to Bootstrap via Ninja Bootstrap, our extension utilities for Bootstrap. And by the way, you can change all the values that those classes map to, just editing very simple files in the source folder. So you don't need to think that you are necessarily stuck at what the default settings will give you. But anyway, those default settings make a lot of sense and will actually might be useful for you, even as they are. So let's disable that and test the font weight. Okay. And the font weight, this is also totally introduced by Bootstrap. But the nice thing is that you can customize all that directly using the Bootstrap customizer. The WordPress customizer. Let's click in here and see it again. So you have here the typography Bootstrap options, where you can choose fonts. As you know, you can set up a base font size. I'm gonna do it just to showcase 1.1 rem. You change the value here, it compiles again, and it's done. Let me delete it and put it as it was. And here you have font weight base, line height base, and then you have all the settings for font weight, lighter, light, normal, same, bold, bolder, which are actually the values that you would find, they will find using the text editing toolbar that we saw. Of course, those impact directly on the classes, and the bar is only using classes, so there you go. If you scroll down here, you can of course customize headings as well to change their fonts, and you can set up different font sizes for headings. You see, you can set up all your font, desired font scale from H1 to H6, and also the display headings font size. But before looking this, I should show you the last row of our text editing toolbar, the one that allows you to edit the sizing of the font. So I click here on the H1 and I click here on D1, and you see it gets a little bit larger. But actually, let me reset that. Let me remove all the classes. So we start from a vanilla situation. So this is an H1 with no class. So if I click on D1, you will see that it makes it a little bit bigger, and it also customizing the font weight. This is because the display heading classes, display headings here, they do change more than one property. And they are pretty useful when you want to make a heading a little bit more special and make it stand out. So let's switch it back to no classes. As you can see, this is an H1. Here I have the H1, H6 classes. If I would apply this H1 class, it makes no difference because the H1 tag is already looking that way. With, for example, this item could be an H3, and I can make it look exactly like an H1 just applying this class. Okay, so this is another useful trick. Let's go test another one. If I have, let's go to this paragraph. I'm gonna just reset it like this. There is this FS font sizing utility, which is very nice because it gives you just pure font sizing. Of course, all those elements, they use responsive font sizing. Even if just the last one is labeled RFS, but they underneath they all use SAS, responsive font sizing rules. So these values, FS, are basically what you set in the backend on the typography. Scroll down to headings and FS classes. These are the font sizes you can set, but they are applied responsively. That means I'm gonna do it once for you. I'm gonna use FS4. Okay. If I inspect this element and see how it is rendered, and see the, pardon me, I didn't select it properly. Yes, let's see how it's rendered. So what we care is for the font size, which is now 24 pixels. If I switch on the mobile simulator, it goes down to 21 pixels. So it smoothly adjusts to suit the screen width. This is the responsive typography. Okay, so now we've been talking about all these classes. You have here, default is just resetting everything. You see, it does remove the class we applied. Lib is the classic lead for more important paragraphs. Classic boost of class. Then you have a small. And so now we are left only with this last set of classes, RFS, which is something that we created time ago to have a quick utility class for every kind of font size available on the fly. This is kind of nice, but more for experimenting. If I'd be starting a new site today, I try to stick with the customizing the display and font size and heading classes more than relying on this. This is more for making one-off special effects right now, in my opinion. So, thanks for watching. I hope you've been learning something useful, and please take your time to play with it and play also with the WordPress customizer. As what we want to achieve is the best integration that we can build between the two elements, so you can have total control and flexibility over your design system. Bye. Okay guys, that's it. I hope this video has been useful for you. If this was the case, I'd really appreciate if you click the like button. By the way, in order not to miss our next updates, please subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.